Always so great. Hey, Sasha, or so good to see you.
You too. It feels like forever and ever. Really.
It does. It does. Okay, so I'm putting us up on the stage together so we can hang out. There we go. Cool. Okay, so Sasha, since we have had the opportunity to have you join us a few times for Video Book Club, I thought tonight we could do some fun, get to know you questions and some like rapid fire, just like a little bit of everything. So we're just gonna have a little fun Sasha Summers party tonight.
Oh, sounds good.
Sound good? Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, Sasha, let's start off with a little round of never have I ever.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm really boring, so this is not going to be as exciting as it should be.
Okay. Well, it's good because these questions are not too racy just yet. Don't worry. Okay. So my first question for you is, never have I ever, or never have you ever been stung by a bee?
Oh no, I've been stung by a bee. Yeah, definitely.
Are you allergic to bees or?
Thank goodness, no. I mean, it didn't feel very good, but I was kind of whacking. I mean, this was years ago. I was whacking the bush where they were living. So they had a right to.
So you made them mad. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
you made
totally.
them mad.
I was poking the bear/bee, it was totally on me. Yeah.
Did you know they were in there or was it a surprise?
It was kind of a surprise. I mean, like I said, I was really young and there was one there, and I think inherently we're all initially afraid of bees. And so it was like, let's whack it, which makes so much sense. And then the whole bush kind of erupted. It was in my grandfather's house. Yeah. So it was one of those things where my older sister kind of grabbed me and ran, but I still got a couple of stings, which was good because I didn't go around whacking them anymore. So
absolutely. Yeah. Did you ever get stung? Have you been stung later in life?
I haven't, knock on wood.
Good. You got them all out of that one time.
With them a lot. So yeah. So no, at this point, all of them have been very nice to me. Maybe they know.
They know. Okay. So never have you ever harvested your own produce or honey?
Not yet. I would love to say eventually I will be able to harvest my own honey. I think that would be fantastic. But at this point, I mean, it's surprisingly a lot of work just to, actually do it in a nice way kind of thing. You could do anyways, I won't go off on a tangent on different hives, but the way I want to do it, I know it's going to take a while. So I'm being patient and I'm taking lots of classes and trying to just, make sure that I do it the right way.
I love it. Also, don't worry, I've got lots of additional research questions for the book coming up. So yeah. Okay. So never have you ever had a second chance romance?
Personally? No, I'm married to my one and only. So I met him when I was 14 and we are still together. So yeah, no second chances needed at this point. Knock on wood again.
I love it. Okay, awesome. All right. So this is kind of a follow-up question than that. Never have you ever fallen in love with your enemy?
Oh no, we hated each other when we first met.
Well, so now there you go.
But I hated him. He was just kind of, but we were kids. We were 14, and you know how it's that thing where he's so irritating kind of thing, until he just wins you over. That was the situation, 100%. So he's still very irritating sometimes, but
of course, what did he do to win you over?
Okay, it was really sweet. So we were freshmen in high school, and I was actually dating a bit of an older guy, a junior, and he was very, he had a car, he was all this kind of stuff. And so my husband would basically wait outside whenever he knew that the guy I was dating was going to walk me to class, and just kind of stand there and, be very present. And then he started calling me all the time. And just showing up and kind of being like, you think you don't like me, but really I'm amazing. And so it was got to the point where I was like looking for him even when I shouldn't be, kind of thing. And I realized, yeah, okay, fine. And that was pretty much it. I mean, we had a very volatile high school relationship because high school hormones, you name it. Yeah, 100%. But I guess it worked okay because, it'll be 30 years of marriage next March.
I love it. What is one piece of advice that you would always give to a new married couple then?
I think it's very easy when you get angry to not listen to the other person and to assume that they're just wrong, right? Because you don't want to really listen or kind of give at all. But I think that compromise, not on your ethics or your beliefs by any means, but as far as having conversations, I think it's really important to be receptive to the other person. And I'm totally saying this, and I'm sure that my son, who is sitting here on the couch, is laughing hysterically because, he actually lives with us. But I would like to think that I compromise every once in a while. Who knows?
I love it. Okay. So next one is sort of funny and sort of silly.
Okay.
Have you ever regifted a gift card?
Oh, 100%.
And what was the gift card? You could just name one.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say one.
Yeah. Or as many as you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say Amazon, Barnes and Noble, because it's one of those things that I know all of my people will be like, yes. So yeah, no, I've been bad about that. 100%. 100%.
I love it so much. Okay. Our last never have I ever question is, never have you ever written fan fiction?
I haven't, but there are times I really, really want to. And it would all be basically like the Mummy, because I'm obsessed with the Mummy, not the Tom Cruise Mummy, because that doesn't exist, but
Yeah,
like the Brendan Fraser. Yeah. But I know that there's already plenty of that out there. And so I will just let them keep going and walk away. I would love for someone to write another one that would actually get them back together and we'd have them back on the big screen, because that would just make my heart so happy. I don't care how old they are. I just want them, Rick and Evie forever.
Ah, love it. Well, thank you so much for that fun. See, it was very light and fluffy on that. Never have I ever. Yep. Okay.
Very much.
Okay, so these next ones are just sort of fresh fact questions. A little bit, you can just go a little more into detail if you feel like it. So first one up is, tell us about a time you got revenge on, well, so you already mentioned that you've only had the one husband. So maybe like a fun little revenge that you got on your husband for, doing something silly or something that just wasn't quite right.
Oh my gosh. Wait, I'm sorry. Are we having rain? No, it's just wind. I got all excited for a minute. Sorry. Revenge on him. I'm going to come up with a complete blank here.
Okay.
I'm like this. See, I told you it's not very exciting.
No, you like each other. That's very important.
We do like each other. We do for the most part. And, so yeah, there's not a lot of like picking. Now with my kids, I'll, practical jokes occasionally, but not with him. He's more of an engineer brain. So,
Awesome. Okay. What would be one business that you would want to start with your family?
Oh, well, this might be a later hour thing. I don't know if I can say this, but I honestly think, I don't know, this might be a little, I think that once everything is legalized, marijuana, I would totally do a shop in Texas. I believe that it's something that, my personal opinion, a lot of people would benefit from having that available to them. And I just think that as far as being a family business, why not? I mean, absolutely. I think we could all, invest in it. Something that is, when it happens, I think a lot of people are going to get extremely wealthy very quickly. Very quickly off that. I would love that. I'm like, sign me up.
Well, then I guess we'll jump straight down to our bonus question. Would that also be what you would be farming as well?
Oh yeah, totally. Why not? I mean, once it's legal, sure. We've got property. I don't see why not, let's use it for good stuff. So
absolutely. Love it. Great plan. We all know where we're going to see Sasha when it's legal in Texas. Let's do it.
Please, we'll have
writer
good.
retreat. It'll be beautiful. Let's go.
Very mellow.
All right. So this is in honor of your May release that you had, something blue. What is the best gift to bring to a wedding?
Oh, wow. Honestly, I love something that you can actually keep, like something really beautiful, like a silver serving dish or candy dish. I mean, something, it doesn't have to be huge, but something that you can pass along. We had a crystal clock for years, and I think we still have it packed away. But it was just something that would sit on the mantle. It was really lovely. It was just something that, it would remind us of the wedding, but it was also very classy. So something I think that's timeless. That's kind of a cool thing that you could pass along.
Yeah, I love it. Little heirloom, family heirloom.
Exactly. An heirloom in the making.
Okay, so what is more exciting for you as a writer, Sasha? Starting a new series or wrapping up an old series?
Oh, starting. I hate wrapping up. I have a very hard time with goodbyes. Even I know they're fictional characters, but there's only been one series that I was like, okay, I'm okay with it ending. And it was just because it was something that I hadn't really planned to write before anyways. But as a whole, starting is way more exciting. Yes, definitely.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Do you prefer an angsty hero or a cinnamon roll?
Oh, so right now I'm writing a super angsty hero.
Okay.
He's fantastic. So I have to say, I love him. And I'm trying to think of, I guess I've written a couple of cinnamon roll heroes, but not recently. So, because in the Sweetest Thing, Dana's totally an alpha. And then, like I said, Charlie, who's the hero in this one, is definitely, oh my gosh, he's so angsty. It's just awesome. It's awesome.
Did he come to you fully like that?
Yes. Yes. I knew exactly he was going to be when I kind of envisioned his presence and the way he was going to kind of gel or not gel with Astrid. And I knew he had to be this kind of bleak, doomsday, nothing is good, because Astrid's like this, yay, just shooting sunshine out of her fingertips. So I knew that they had to be kind of, what are they calling it? Grumpy sunshine.
Grumpy sunshine. Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking. I love that so much. So what was the inspiration for The Sweetest Thing?
Well, it was one of those, it sounds very anti-artsy, but when I was working with my editor, I was kind of like, okay, so what do we want to do next? And she was kind of like, well, let's try something different and new and something that's kind of relevant right now. And I had been following a lot of the stuff about bees because it's kind of, I don't want to say it's at a crisis point, but it's definitely something that everyone could do something to kind of help a little bit. It's amazing how much they do for us, these little tiny guys. So I was like, okay, let's kind of look around there. And there's so many apiaries in Texas and so many in this area that it was kind of like a natural, okay, I'm going to start doing this. And I found an online class. And initially this editor was like, yes, this is great. And ironically, it sold to a completely different publishing house. So that's the way it works. It wasn't really I want to write about bees, but then I started looking into it and it was like, I want to write about bees. And thank goodness they were like, yeah, this is great, because, oh my goodness, this has been, as far as series go, I've just fallen in love with this family in this place. So.
Well, and so, were you aware of beekeeping? And like, I'm sure at this point you're like getting into it. You mentioned that, but writing the book, was it sort of the impetus for you to get inspired to get into beekeeping yourself?
100%. I think, I don't know if everyone is aware of her, I guess, because I'm in Texas, everyone is aware of her, but there's a really beautiful, oh my gosh, she's like, I don't want to say Barbie, but she's drop dead, gorgeous, blonde, and she doesn't use any protective gear, which I do not recommend. But anyway, she's very but she's very famous. Her name is Erica Thompson, and she's done all sorts of good stuff. And she's even become this big ambassador. She's working with Angelina Jolie. She's fantastic. So she was kind of this role model for Tansy in the first book. Very strong, independent woman, and yet very well spoken, very open to listening, very good at communicating. Now, Tansy's all those things except when it comes to Dane, but it was just kind of one of those things that really worked, for me. And once I started to research her, then there were all these other wonderful, fabulous beekeepers in the area. And so I started taking classes and went to a convention, and it just kind of spiraled from there. So yeah.
I love it so much. What color would your beekeeper outfit be?
Well, I have one. I should have put it on for tonight. It's just a plain old white one, because it's so hot here. There's several different kinds. And like the traditional one that we all see is canvas, which does not breathe. And people have heat stroke in them. The one that I got is a vented suit. So it's actually 2 different layers, but it's all holed so that it actually circulates air. So it's plain old white. You can get these beautiful ones and everything, but if they're canvas, it's miserable. So unfortunately they haven't built one with an air conditioner in it yet.
That is so rude. I feel like those sumo suits, you could just put a sumo suit on there and go.
That would be totally.
Well, thank you for confirming that they are incredibly hot, because I've always wondered what it must be like to put one on. Yeah,
no, it is. Ideally you go in Texas first thing in the morning, right? Because that's really, and even then it's already warm, but unless there's a crisis, I cannot imagine going and suiting up afternoon. It would be miserable. So yeah.
No, thank you. The bees are even like, we're all taking a nap. Yeah. Let's just all meet up at 9 o'clock. It's fine.
That's right. Ironically, they can actually keep their hives cool. They have this whole little ventilated system that they do. So they're fine, but we're out there dripping sweat. So yeah, no.
What is the one bee fact that when you've learned it kind of sort of haunts you or sticks around, or you're always throwing out at a party? What's that sort of?
Well, there's actually a few, but
cool.
I think the thing that's so neat is, so the queen, right? She's the only one that has babies, but literally she goes on a single solo flight, and all the drone guys, they're like, "Ooh, baby," and so she has a good time, and she goes back to the hive, and she never mates again, and she can live for 3 to 5 years. So everything happens in this one single flight. And I'm like, that had better be the best flight of her life. I'm just saying, because the next 3 to 5 years, she is literally doing nothing but laying eggs. That's it, all day long. And I think it's also funny that like the drones, who are the only males, are pretty useless, because that is literally the only reason they exist. So when like things start getting really dry and they don't have any more food, the female worker bees will kick all of the drones out to die.
Oh man.
They'll literally kick them out of the hive.
I love
There's
it.
like little piles of dead
They're
drone
just like,
bees, and then
bing,
when they
bing,
need them, they'll make more. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're very I mean, they're very single-minded as far as we're going to support the hive, and they're all about, you know, family and being productive, but they take no stuff. Yes, I love, yeah, lady Sarah kicks out the men. Yep, that's right. I mean, they take no business or crap from anybody. They're going to be like, nope, you're in the way, bye-bye. So it's kind of cool. They're vicious,
yeah.
but like in an admirable way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you
Yeah.
get it. You totally do. And it's all the women. It's completely women. So yeah,
I love
it's very cool.
All right, ladies, we now know we have to be more like the bees.
That's right. They
Not take
support each
anything.
other. They have each other's back. I mean,
Mhm.
my new catchphrase has kind of been be the bee, because they like set their mind, they do it, nothing's gonna get in their way, and they know they've got the ladies behind them. It's pretty cool. It really
I
is.
love it. Little Amazonian
Yes.
community.
Exactly right.
That's so fantastic. All right. So how important do you find tropes to your writing process?
Oh, I think tropes are, if you write romance, I think tropes are important. I mean, you just know, and for me, because my books are normally character driven, the tropes kind of fall in line after I figure out who the people are going to be. Because obviously I think some tropes work better with some archetypes, if you will. So, but I think romance as a whole, you have to know your tropes. You really do, because that's how you can really make sure your book is reaching that core group that likes that trope. So if you don't know those defined tropes, then you're kind of splashing around, not really cluing in on the audience. And right now, finding an audience is harder than ever with the millions of books out there. So, yeah, I think tropes are right up there beneath really loving and defining my characters. I would say they're probably second or third on my top 5.
Cool. Okay, so what is your favorite trope to read?
To read, I really, really love a good enemies to lovers, because I like that witty back and forth a lot. I do love when you're thrown together a lot and you can't get away. What is that called?
Oh, forced proximity.
Thank you. Yes, that one too. And I do like second chance romance. I just want it to not be too easy, if that makes sense. So yeah,
work for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so then what are your favorite tropes to write?
I do love to write enemies to lovers. I do. I have a lot of enemies to lovers, but I've also really started to enjoy writing friends to lovers. And I don't know if it's just because I'm getting a little older. And so I realized that friendship is really the best foundation for romance. You know, initially when you're young, you're like, oh, passion. Now I'm like, no, I just want to watch the same TV show.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to share ice cream.
That's right. I want to be able to sit in silence and be cool with it. You know, I mean, yeah. So yeah, because I have written some really, really steamy stuff, and I still like to write that, but it's not as important for it to be in the book anymore as it used to be. So, and I don't know if it's a Mallow thing or if I'm just trying to gauge the heat level that's right for the book, but yeah.
I love that. I love friends to lovers. It's always a good one.
It is.
So who was your first book boyfriend or girlfriend?
Oh my gosh. My first book boyfriend was Sebastian. I can't remember his last name, but it was a Teresa Medeiros, and it was Heather and Velvet, and he was a highwayman. And her name was Prudence, and she wore glasses, and she had a kitten named Sebastian. So there was their meet cute is one of my favorite of all time, because he's a highwayman in the middle of a heist, and there's a rainstorm, and she's out looking for Sebastian. So she's screaming Sebastian, and he thinks it's a ghost calling his name and falls and hurts himself. It's brilliant. So Sebastian will always have a special place in my heart. I still have a Fabio covered copy of that. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. Cool. What is your favorite writing fuel?
Oh, coffee, and more coffee. And after that, probably more coffee. The fact that I'm just drinking water right now, but it's just hot, and but yeah, it's mostly coffee, definitely.
How do you take your coffee?
Any way you will give it to me. No. I'm not a huge fan of iced coffee, but now my son has turned me on to the mocha Sheena thing from McDonald's, and it's so
Oh,
good, but it's
yum.
basically just chocolate and sugar and maybe real coffee. I don't know.
Maybe like a shot of coffee. Who knows?
Exactly. So it's pretend coffee, but I'm all about it right now because it's so hot. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a really refreshing pretend coffee. So
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Now I know I'm going to get myself an iced coffee a little bit later.
Yes,
My dog just
definitely.
showed up. Okay, so what is some advice that you would give to your younger self?
Oh, wow. I do think I would tell myself to stop getting in my head. I think that anytime you decide you want to do something, especially something that's outside the norm, and I think anytime you work in the arts, it's outside the norm, and it's so subjective. I think if you decide you're going to do that, then you have to get a thicker skin and you have to stop listening to other people. That probably applies across the board, though. Let's be honest, in this day and age, you just have to really follow what fulfills you, also can sustain you, preferably fiscally in this day and age. But yeah, I think everyone is so willing to give you their opinion, whether you ask for it or not. Just because they're giving it to you doesn't mean you need to listen to it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, there's so many good little nuggets in there that you just said. I love it. Okay. What is one luxury item that you cannot live without?
Well, I don't know if coffee counts. No.
I don't feel like coffee's luxury. I feel like it's a necessity.
I don't have any. I mean, I'm pretty low maintenance.
Okay.
I mean, I do like to eat out and have yummy food occasionally. But as far as like frou-frou stuff, I mean, I guess I get a pedicure every couple of months. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really, a luxury item. Yeah, no. Just coffee.
Just coffee. All right. You're like a fancy coffee.
Fancy coffee. There you go.
There you go. What is one thing that people should do when they come to visit you in the Hill Country?
Pack allergy medicine.
Yeah. That is the most honest answer.
It really is. I mean, right now, my poor sweet son has asthma. And so, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, do we have this in the house? If not, then we need to go immediately and buy this. Allegra D is our medicine of choice, just FYI. So no, but seriously, that's probably it, because it's brutal. It's brutal. If you're not prepared, it can knock you down. So
I love it. I was like, yeah, now I'm just reminding me I need to take my ear tech later.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can bring your cowboy hat, your boots, that's all good. But
yeah, bring the Claritin, Allegra, whatever you need, whatever works best for you.
Exactly.
How do you celebrate a new release, Sasha?
Normally we just do something, we'll either go out to dinner or we'll get a cupcake at something, my house is actually diminished, just my husband and my youngest, but they're pretty good about that. But it's low key. It's really low key. I mean, if it's like, this book was a huge book because of it being a mass market. So, we did like a woohoo, a little bit more, but yeah, I mean, it's a little thing. It's not a big thing. Cause I mean, luckily I'm going to have another one soon, or another, you know what I mean? So you can't go too crazy, because I normally have, around 4 releases a year. So you can't get too wild and crazy. So
you just treat yourself to something nice.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Who is your dream writer collaboration?
Wow. Stephanie Dre. I love her. She has no idea how important she is to me, but she gave me an email when I very first started out. I was one of those really ridiculously overzealous, oh, here, read my books, big important person. And she did, and she wrote me the most beautiful email, and I have it stuck on my wall to this day. And we're friends, but not like besties. But her work is always just kind of awe-inspiring to me. The amount of research she does, the depth of emotion that comes across on the page. She's just a very lyrical, amazing paced, just kind of rich source material. So yeah, I think it would be Stephanie.
I love it. Can't wait to read it.
Yeah.
I just like to put this question out there because I love to will these things to
hey, will it into
let's do it. Which character from any of your books would you want to be friends with?
Oh goodness. I think I am friends with Felicity. I know that sounds really weird, but in Accidentally Family, I don't know, you'll write a character and they will resonate with you in a very deep way. And I think I put a lot of myself into that character. I didn't realize it until later because I'd written it much earlier. So I really love her. She's kind of just this woman that I get very, maybe sometimes a little, I'm not saying this is me, but she's just a little too selfless for her own good sometimes. And it really took her a while to, accept the fact that she was allowed to have her own wants and needs. And so I guess when I wrote it, it was probably around the same time that I was figuring that stuff out. But but yeah, so she's probably one of my favorite.
I love that. Cool. Okay, so Sasha, do you like to listen to music while you're writing?
It depends. There were a couple of series that I did, like with the B books, I have not. With the Kings of Country, yes, I listened to a lot of country music while I was writing. And then when I wrote the years ago, and I know I still have to finish it, but the Loves of Olympus, I listened to a lot of classical kind of movies, soaring, sweeping soundtracks, kind of thing to help really make it emotional and powerful and stuff. But normally I don't write to anything that has lyrics just because I don't want to be distracted by words.
Oh, I totally understand.
Yeah.
That. For sure.
Yeah.
So
I do wonder sometimes, like if I get stuck, like I'm kind of stuck right now, if I should go in and make a playlist, to try and help create that feeling, because I think a vibe and a place can really help you sometimes get grounded in the story.
Absolutely. Do you have like any routine you could do as you get ready to write?
You would think so. I was just talking to some of my writing friends, and I have written a lot of books now, and I don't have a routine. It's ridiculous. It really is, because by now I should just be able to, and, I have some of them that have these great flooding boards. Others I have like sticky notes everywhere. Otherwise I have notebooks just full, or I have Plotter on my computer, and so yeah, no. I wish I did. I need to develop it. I teach a class and I have a workbook. You would think that I would use that, but every time it's something new, and I don't know if I just feel like I've gotten so ridiculously and not rightly confident that I'm just gonna be able to knock it out, that I don't feel like I have to put a lot into. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Someone needs to just give me a process, because it's all over.
It changes every time, and that's okay. That is your process.
That is my process. And it normally includes really pretty shiny pens and more sticky notes. Like I need more sticky notes. I don't need more sticky notes. And just there you go. I
just love a good journal. Everything feels right when I get a new journal.
Yes, a new one, and you open it and you like crease it, and it's like, okay, I can begin. And then you don't use it.
Never.
What's that?
And I'm like, I'll see you soon, journal.
That's perfect.
I'm looking at you. One of these days.
You'll have
more than just my name on you.
Don't have plans for like the next 2 years, because I'm going to use you.
I'm going to get you. Yeah, one of these days. I'm going to feel it. Be like, that pink one, that's the one. Every journal, I've now just resigned myself to just buying like straight, just black journals. So I'm like, stick stickers all over them. Who cares? I'll use those.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea, because I get sucked into the pretty ones.
And I don't want to touch them.
Yeah, they're so pretty. And then they have the little arts and stickers that come with them. Then you want to do all that, but you don't want to ruin it by messing it up. Yeah,
exactly. So then I'm just like, I'll take all those nice stickers from the pretty book and put them in the ugly book, and then make the ugly book pretty. Works great.
We're speaking the same language here, Gwen.
Well, Sasha, before I turn this over to our readers to ask you some more follow-up fun questions, where can readers stay in touch with you and find out more about you?
Sure. I am always on Facebook at Sasha Summers Author. I have a page there. And then I have Instagram, sasha.summers. And I'm trying the TikTok thing, but I will apologize now for those videos that I've posted, because as you can tell, I'm an awkward person. That's just who I am. But I am on TikTok, and it's, I think, Sasha Writes. And I'm on Twitter, but I'm really not on Twitter very often, because people are just mean on Twitter. I find I'm a very happy person. I like to stay happy. I like to be positive, and Twitter often makes me sad. So
Twitter likes to live in the negative sometimes.
It really does. Yeah. So I'm more of a Facebook, Instagram. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Sasha, you're always a delight. I always have so much fun chatting with you. And thank you so much. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for taking some extra questions from our readers.
That's good.